You're listening to the Inflamed and Exhausted Podcast, the show for women who are tired of being tired. I'm Leah Torbert, CEO and co-founder of Wellness by Davley, and I've been where you are, burned out, foggy, and wondering why my body couldn't just bounce back like it used to. On this podcast, we'll uncover the real reasons behind your fatigue, inflammation, and hormonal shifts, and I'll give you practical tools and guidance to support your body, restore your energy, and take back your health, one small step at a time. Let's get to it. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Tricia John. She is a wellness coach specializing in postpartum care. So I'm super excited to have her on today because I think this is a part of just being a woman that doesn't get talked about a lot. We get a lot of care while we're pregnant. And then there's all this talk around perimenopause and menopause, but there's just not a lot of support and discussion around what happens right after we have a baby and all the different things that we go through. So I'm excited to have her on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for having me. This is a very important topic, and I'm excited to dive in with you.
Awesome. Well, could you first just introduce yourself and tell us how you ended up doing what you're doing?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I am Tricia John, registered nurse of a little over 30 years now. The majority of my time has been spent in the pediatric world, taking care of the kiddos in various settings, pediatrician's office, PDICU, and a long stint in school nursing. And during all of that, as I took a step back here in the last year or so and was reflecting on my career, was thinking about the moms that support all of these kiddos that I have been supporting this whole time. And also thinking back to when I had young children and how these things just weren't talked about. You had your baby and you had your 6-week checkup and you were cleared and set free without a whole lot of support and guidance and reassurance that a lot of the things that we go through postpartum are in fact normal, but then, okay, they're normal, but how do we get through them? So
Yeah.
that's what has landed me here today.
Yeah, I remember I only have one son and he's 25 now, but I remember after having him just feeling so alone and not really knowing like what to do and whether some of the things that I was going through was normal or not, like you said. Looking back on it now, I'm pretty sure that I had depression, but no one really talked about it at the time. But different things that I've learned and just looking back on that, thinking how wonderful it would have been to have somebody support me through that. I think it would have been a much easier time. And I know some of my friends have gone through some similar things. So I guess one thing that I would really love for you to dive into a little bit is like, what are some of those changes? Like, as we are on our way home and we're learning how to nurse and do all those things, like there's a lot of stuff going on in our body while it's trying to transform into this new thing that we've become. What exactly is going on?
Exactly. We've spent 9 months preparing, and our body has been preparing and changing. Hormones have been changing for the last 9 months, and now we give birth and we have this beautiful little baby. Well, now our body needs to somehow reel it back in from all of that. And that recovery phase is huge. It's intense. It's honestly one of the largest recalibrations that a woman's body will ever experience. Let's just think about the uterus itself. It has expanded daily for 9 months, and now it has to shrink back down to size. Well, that's not going to happen overnight. Our hormones have been shifting and elevating and waxing and waning through the whole pregnancy, and now we've got a baby. Well, all of that needs to settle back in and normalize. And here we are breastfeeding. We're adding another level of hormonal changes in there. We've lost blood volume. Our skin has stretched. Other tissues, our muscle tissues have stretched just giving birth. Our pelvic floor has had to do things that are tremendous. And so have our abdominal muscles. God bless the abs.
Yeah, we need them.
All of that, it needs to come back together just along with our person. who we are, not just our physical body, but our person, our mental health, all of those things are coming back together, and it takes time and patience and support.
Yeah. Yeah. I think patience is something as a new mom, it's it's in short supply some days. You're not getting a lot of sleep. You're up constantly worried about your baby and trying to make sure you're not missing anything or doing anything wrong. And there's all this additional pressure to just that it's this a whole new experience that you're embarking on. And that patience, that's tough to come by sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we hear it a lot. Sleep when the baby sleeps so that you can get some rest, but which which is great advice and which is true if mama can get it. Sometimes this is second or third baby, and then you throw in what if one of those other children has a chronic illness, diabetes or asthma or something that just needs a lot a lot of attention still too. Sometimes mom is left sleeping with one eye open, and that's why we've got to really rally around these women and help them identify their needs and their strengths and their support systems.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one thing when I had my son, my doctor gave me a lot of information while I was pregnant on what I needed to eat for the baby, different supplements that I needed to take. But once I went home, there wasn't really a lot of information on that. It was more like just make sure you're eating and make sure the baby eats enough. But like, what exactly does that mean?
Yes, nutrition is very, very important while you're pregnant and for the months and years following the pregnancy after birth. We need our iron stores, we need our protein, we need our vitamin C and our zinc. All of those things help our bodies repair from the inside out. And nutrition is huge if you're breastfeeding. You need 400 to 500 calories more a day while you're breastfeeding, along with simple water. But a lot of times, immediate postpartum, we're all eager to get back to our pre-pregnancy figures and clothes and all that good stuff. And it just takes time. We need to make sure that we're honoring our bodies and listening to our bodies and taking in what we need to sustain that healing process.
Yeah, that was definitely something I wanted to dive into because I know a lot of ladies are really worried about all the extra baby weight that they're carrying, and there's some self-confidence issues as you're getting back into the swing of things and your whole body has changed. And so many women, just like when they want to lose weight regardless of having a child or not, the first thing that we've been taught is cut the calories, do all the exercise. And you just said we need an extra 500 calories a day just to breastfeed. So if these ladies are cutting down to the magic 1200 number, which seems to be just floating around there everywhere on the internet, it drives me nuts whenever I hear somebody say it. Oh, yeah, I read somewhere I need to eat 1200 calories a day. It's like, who told you that?
Yes, we're all different. And 1,200 calories today may sound great and be wonderful, but tomorrow might need 15, 1,800 calories. Again, it's listening to your body.
Yeah. So when you're working with ladies who are going through this, like what are some things that you recommend to try to help them get past the psychological aspects of food and weight and understanding that it's going to take some time?
Yes, a lot of that is individualized work, finding out where their drive is for the wanting to lose weight or get back into their groove. And again, starting small. I can appreciate wanting to lose weight and all of that stuff, but also encouraging them to honor their bodies and where they've been. I mean, my goodness, their body just built a human. And
Right.
and be patient with themselves and all of that will come, but you don't want to rush into it too quickly. Rushing in too quick could provide us some opportunities for negative setbacks later on that we may not see right now. For example, if we get in there and we've had our 6 week checkup and the doctor said I'm good to go, I'm going to go run a half marathon in three
Woo!
weeks. No, let's slow down and let's just take it one step at a time. I mean, you really want to make sure that your pelvic floor is healed, all of those kind of things before you start jumping into the big time exercises. So maybe just starting with some gentle walks, things like that. And then with the diet, just starting small. I mean, you don't have to go out and invest in a bunch of expensive organic foods and all of that kind of thing if that hasn't been your thing before. Just starting small with one meal a day. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on my breakfast this week, and don't set a goal for 7 days, maybe 2 or 3 days, just so that you can feel good about yourself in achieving those goals as you go. And again, like I said, it's an individualized plan based on where the mom is, what her resources are, and what was her delivery like. Everybody's delivery is different. So some are more traumatic than others. And so those more traumatic deliveries may take a little longer to overcome some of those goals or ideas that the mom may have.
Yeah. Do you see any differences from that perspective, natural childbirth versus C-section? I know time of recovery is a lot longer, but from a nutrition perspective or mental health impact.
Yeah, as far as nutrition, not so much. I mean, because your body is healing regardless, either direction, and you need all of the protein and the zinc, the vitamin C, all the things that we talked about. But again, just the mobility may be a little more difficult for a C-section mom simply because she's got this incision that she's caring for also. And so those are generally a little slower to progress into a physical activity routine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be frustrating. Have that on top of all the other things that you're worried about during the day. And then
Absolutely.
it's like having to really pay attention to taking care of yourself on a good day. A lot of women aren't good at that.
Yes. Sadly, we've been ingrained as women or as mothers, everybody else needs to come first, and that's when
Hmm.
your cup quickly becomes empty. And
Yes.
that's where a lot of trauma sets in for moms. So,
Yeah. I've had lots of conversations around that with my therapist over the last couple of years, like really diving into like where some of these behaviors come from, where some of these ideas that I had about myself and where I should be on the priority list. It's sad, but at the same time fascinating diving into that side of it.
absolutely. And it can be a fun adventure too.
You learn a lot about yourself.
Absolutely.
Once you get past the initial healing phase, when the doctor clears you and they say, "Okay, you're doing well, baby's good, you can go ahead and start working out." What do you recommend just to get started?
Yeah, I still recommend slow. And for that is we don't want to disrupt the healing that has happened by just going full force into something. I mean, you're just because the doctor has said that you're healed, your pelvic floor is still healing. It may not be as strong as it was. Your abdominal muscles may not be as strong as they were yet. You're still rebuilding your iron stores and calcium stores and all of those kind of things. Your connective tissues are still regaining that stability and that sort of thing. And your energy levels aren't 100% just yet either. So for many women, it could take 6 months to a year before you really feel like physically and then therefore mentally and emotionally that you're on a healing trend. That the 6 week checkup to me is, I look at it as okay, it's a box that we check, but to think that we're ready to go after 6 weeks, I don't think is realistic because
Yeah.
we want to look at we're rebuilding our bodies. I mean, it just did a lot of hard work for the last 9 months and then for however many hours it took to get baby here. It takes a toll. So we want to make sure that we recognize that we are still rebuilding and our bodies are recalibrating all the hormones and everything that goes along with that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember when I was out on maternity leave, there was this big expectation that like once you hit that 6 week mark and the doctor said you were good to go, it's like, oh, you're supposed to be your old you again. 100% back in the game, working. You figured out everything already. Like there was this huge expectation. Everybody's like, oh, well, why are you so tired all the time? Why are you, all these different things? It's like, I don't know. Is this right? Is this wrong? Is this okay? Something wrong with me? Like there was a lot of confusion during that time.
Yes, and it can be confusing when you've got different people coming at you with different information and you're not feeling it.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I have been really amazed about since I've been getting back into networking again over the last year or so is how many women that I have met who are they're having babies, they've quit the workforce, they're opening their own businesses because they want to stay home with their babies. And I am just absolutely amazed and admire these women so much because I don't think I could have done that, like all that added stress on top of everything else. But like being home with their kids and doing this is so motivating for them that they're going the extra mile on top of everything else. I don't know if this is a new trend or if it's just something that I'm just being exposed to more because of the different circles that I'm networking in now, but I'm just amazed by these ladies.
Yes, they're all very strong and it's interesting. This week my theme on social media is the postpartum mom and returning to work. So this fits perfectly. And some moms are ready and eager to get out into the back to the workforce and that's where they're happiest and they've got a routine down. And then there's other moms that are happy to be home. And then you've got the moms who want that happy medium where they're in control of their work schedule and using their creativity to build something that works for them and their family. And I admire them so much for that. And I admire all moms. It's not easy going to work every day. And even if the child stays with a family member in the home, that still tugs on everybody's heartstrings.
Oh
And
yeah.
those that stay home, I have to honestly say, staying home with my two littles when they were young was probably the hardest work I have ever done. 12-hour shifts aside, that was hard work.
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't trade it for the world, but in so I always encourage moms to find what's going to satisfy them emotionally and bring them the peace. We've come to a society where a lot of families depend on both incomes, but if there's a will, there's a way to make it work on one income. It takes creativity and out of there's a saying, when there's a lack of resources, creativity grows or something like that. Getting creative in the kitchen and around the house can be fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually talking to my mom about this a little while ago. She had someone give her like a bunch of dried beans and some like big bags of rice and she's like, I don't know what to do with these. And I was like, well, I mean, it's great from a cost perspective. Like your cost per meal is good. You can do all these meal prep ideas. And she's like, I don't have the patience for that. I don't know. It's like, oh, there's lots of different things we can do with those. Like, let's get creative.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
still having those conversations and it's fun when you think about that. And I remember like when my son was little, like starting to teach him how to cook. And as a grown man now, Like when I talk to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, mom, I'm still making these recipes." You're building legacy and you're teaching your children how to take care of themselves, and it's fun all at the same time.
Absolutely. That's neat. Because you mentioned you're creating memories as well for your children and for yourself. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And that to me, like that kind of stuff brings the stress level down. And in my work, like we take a lot of time out to talk about stress levels, the environment, all the different things that are impacting because food is absolutely necessary to make sure from a nutrition perspective that you're getting what your body needs, but that stress level is really critical too to keeping inflammation down in the body and making sure that we're healing appropriately. And so to me, those fun moments with the kids, that's a great way to keep that stress level nice and low while you're figuring out what your new rhythm is.
absolutely. Yes. And today's rhythm will be different tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
For sure, for sure. But yes, you mentioned bringing the stress levels down and all of that. And I always encourage moms to do their very best to try to just live in the moment. If you're in the kitchen and things are getting messy, that's okay because that is a lesson for the child and it's a bonding moment for you and your kiddo, and the mess will get cleaned up. So just and not thinking about the laundry that needs to be done or the floors that need to be done.
Yeah.
Just engage in the moment with your child, whatever that looks like at the if you're from breastfeeding to baking cookies in the kitchen, just trying to again, just reduce that stress so that your body can heal physically and emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. I read something recently where it was saying that it takes somewhere between 2 and 3 years for your body to fully recover from having a child. It was talking about like family planning and if you wanted to have multiple children, how best to make sure you were taking care of yourself and making sure that your body was healthy enough to have another healthy, beautiful child. Can you talk about that a little bit from your experience? And
Yes, absolutely. It is, we have a lot of families who have children back to back. Me, myself, my daughters are 15 months apart, but just again, recognizing all the shifts that go on in the body, like we talked about when we first opened up the conversation from the womb, the uterus, your abdominal muscles, pelvic floor muscles, all of those kind of things. And if you think about a balloon or rubber band, if you're just sitting there stretching it and not giving it time to heal, if you will, that the healing process may take longer each time you have another child down the road. And then it could lead to more sustaining or lingering health issues as you get older. Women who have had multiples sometimes have issues with urinary incontinence and constipation and bowel function and those kind of things, just because the pelvic floor may not have been able to heal completely
Mhm.
um, during the postpartum phase. So, um, and into we talk about diet and exercise. I'm sorry, about nutrition. And the body is going to, especially if you're breastfeeding, your body is going to funnel most of its resources to that breast milk because it wants to help sustain and grow that baby. So it's going to be taking from our own stores, and that could show up in our dental hygiene health. It could show up in our bone health, show up as anemia, all of those kind of things. So you definitely want to take care of yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having children back to back, but also recognizing what you can do to stabilize that healing process in between times and while you're pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge resource drain. That baby is taking all your nutrients. And so really focusing on taking care of yourself. Just random fun question. Like, do you think there's any connection between that and the weird things that we crave? while we're pregnant?
Um, I really don't have an answer for that.
It just popped
It,
into
it,
my
it,
head.
it very well could be, because our bodies will send us signals when it needs something. So everybody loves to pick on pregnant moms and ice cream. So we need the calories, we need the fats in ice cream, we need the calcium, all of those things. So yes, now that I think that through out loud. Of course. Now, I don't have an answer for the hot Cheetos or those kind of things, but
Yeah, I used to I'd have a joke when I was pregnant. It's like you can't come over to my house if you don't bring me ice cream. I was like, you got to pay the toll.
nothing better than a good bowl of ice cream.
Oh man, it hits the spot.
It sure does.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the ladies listening to this if they themselves are going through or getting ready for this, or if they have some friends that are having babies?
Um, let's see. I would just like them to remember that it's a big life experience with lots of physiological transitions that go on from conception to delivery and beyond, and to just make sure that they know that there is help out there and that all of the things that they are going through is normal, and they want to take care of themselves now so that they can be there strong and healthy as their kids grow into their adults and they perhaps start blessing you with grandchildren. Just taking care of ourselves now will pay off tremendously in the future.
I love that. I love that. And from my side, like the healthier you are at a younger age, it's going to impact your ability to heal faster from whatever life may throw at you. It improves your immunity, all these different things we've seen as we age, like our cardiovascular health, our pulmonary health, our mental health, like all the different things that we're seeing with diabetes and Alzheimer's. Start now, start taking care of yourself now for sure. Well, this has been wonderful diving into this. And for those of you listening, Trisha's going to be joining me next week. I've got a 3-day masterclass where we're really diving into how inflammation works in our bodies and how we can really narrow down on where to best start for our individual selves on healing that inflammation. And Trisha's going to pop in on day 3, and we're going to talk about capacity as you are learning how to be a new mom and taking care of yourself and all the different things that come up. Like energy and capacity are super important. We touched on it a little bit today, but we're going to dive in a little bit more next week. So if you're interested in that, reach out and we'll make sure that you get the link. And Tricia, can you let us know how we can get in touch with you as well?
Absolutely. I am on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram handle is grace_and_grit_wellness_coach. And then I'm on Facebook as well, and that is Experience Grace and Grit Wellness Coaching. You are also welcome to just email me at Tricia, Tricia, at graceandgritwcc.com.
Awesome. We'll make sure we have all of those links in the show notes as well. That was a lot of underscores. I know I wouldn't remember it. So we'll have all the links there for us. So thank you so much today, and we'll talk to you next time.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining me today on the Inflamed and Exhausted Podcast. If this episode helped you connect the dots or gave you a new perspective, I'd love it if you'd follow the show and leave a quick review. It helps more women find this message. Remember, healing isn't about being perfect. It's about staying curious, staying kind to yourself, and taking the next best step. I'll see you next time.